Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Combat Evolved gameplay. I realised I hadn't brought too much Combat Evolved gameplay onto the channel as of recently. I was having a conversation with Lurker Zero not too long ago, and he knows I'm not the fondest of the Combat Evolved multiplayer. The campaign itself is actually one of my favourites from Combat Evolved. It's got some of my favourite campaign levels of pretty much all time. Truth and Reconciliation being one, Assault on the Control Room, the two betrayals. It also has some of my least favorite, the flood levels, to be specific, like 343 Guilty Spark and the library. Those levels kind of feel like the water levels. It's almost like the water temple from Ocarina of Time. And when I go through these levels, it reminds me of Shawshank Redemption, where the main guy has to crawl through the river of shit just to get to the other side. That's how I feel, and I feel liberated when I get to the end of that sewage and am free on the other side. But man, it's definitely a harrowing experience getting through those two levels, especially on legendary difficulty. Nonetheless, it can be kind of fun from time to time, the multiplayer on Combat Evolved, when it's kind of pub stompy lobby. That's the way I like playing it. That's the way I feel like it's built. It's so spawn campy, and you can just kind of destroy people in their spawn and keep them back, and it's just kind of impossible for them to get around that in an optimal setting. I personally wouldn't mind a spawning system as much if it was maybe a more arena shootery game, in the sense that there was like higher movement speed and there were more ways of getting in and around your spawn, instead of, because with the no sprint and the lack of movement options in general, when you spawn sometimes you just feel like a deer in the headlights. You're just like, I'm gonna have to take this, especially with the power of the nades on top of that as well. You just feel like you get brutalized, and I know it's skillful, but you know my opinions in Combat Evolved. It's not my favorite game, but from time to time I really do enjoy it. These were some of my more enjoyable games, so I hope you enjoyed those in the background. Today I wanted to talk about a couple of ideas I had for Halo 5 that I feel would improve the game. Chances are none of these will get added, unfortunately, but I do really believe that they could greatly enhance and bolster the Halo 5 experience. I think there's enough there to be getting on with without these ideas, but they just might enhance and be that little bit of icing on the cake. The other day I was thinking about the problem that they've been having with the Master Chief Collection, where they're unable to get certain playlists into the rotation. You see them bringing back Team Snipers recently, for example, and having to occasionally remove playlists like Team Doubles, and it seems like they can't get people happy. So what I was thinking was, instead of doing rotational playlists where you have to wait like an entire month to get the playlist you might like, and even then you might not be lucky, I was thinking of having a playlist where it was just Monday it was a game type, Tuesday it was a game type, Wednesday it was a game type, and they were all different game types for the specific day. So you could kind of mark on your calendar, okay, Monday is going to be multi-team day, multi-team's my favorite, I'm going to get a team ready for that, and we're going to be able to play that. And then Tuesday could be doubles, Wednesday could be whatever. I do think doubles should be a main playlist, so that's not the best example. But basically just a system in which they can stock in more playlists by having a different playlist on each day would be super optimal. It's just an idea I've been having. My next idea would be a custom servers list. People have been talking on this a little bit about on Reddit, and it's kind of been something that people have wanted in Halo for a really long time, but I feel that now with the dedicated servers, this seems more possible than ever. They say they've got dedicated servers on customs. The argument I heard against this was people saying that people might not want to go into matchmaking if there's all these different options in customs, and it might dilute the population and it might distract the population. But I don't think that's necessarily a fair way of doing things, and I think at the very least it should be implemented on a see as it goes basis, where it's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, we can maybe scale back on the amount of dedicated servers, or just get rid of it altogether if it really, really dilutes the population. But I don't think that's a fair reason. I don't think being worried about the population is a good idea. You know, on games like CSGO, you still have ranked playlists where you're able to get in a certain amount of games. And I think the more social playlists like Flood, and BTB, they would just always play better on a custom game servers. I don't think you should be selfish with like, oh yeah, but we want to get in as many people into our playlist as possible, when you might get a more optimal experience in the custom servers lists. I just don't think that's a fair way, and I think they're a bit worried that it might alienate console users or it might scare them off. But once again, I just think we're at the point in time in gaming where we just kind of need to get with the times. And customs have been dying off as of recently. One of the main reasons being that the file share has been screwed up on the releases of the games. But I also think people just wish that they could get easier access to them. You know, with the removal of game chat being such a core component, that was where most people used to find their foot in the door into these custom servers, was just talking to someone random in game chat, and then one of the guys being like, hey, do you want to come to my zombies lobby? We got a couple of friends and we need one more person. I just thought I'd, you know, look in matchmaking, or I'm a bit bored of matchmaking, so we thought we'd go do that. And you've kind of limited yourselves because everyone's hanging to their own parties, and a lot of people play in groups of 3 or 4, and it's kind of hard to get this massive 16-player lobby going, and those are some of the best experiences in Halo, period. There's something a little bit soulless from time to time in BTB where you've just got a lobby of complete randoms, whereas if you could have some custom server going where you have some of the regulars, you go into game chat, you could maybe prerequisite that you need game chat in this mic, and if people don't have the mic, they can get kicked from the custom server, or it's just advised that they should have it. It would be really, really enjoyable, and I think it would vastly improve the state of Halo matchmaking, because it's a game that would just feels like it's built for it. There's such a plethora of game types, and Halo has so much variety and diversity that it would be a perfect fit, in my humble opinion. Last but not least, my idea for Halo 5 revolved around the idea of having play-by-play announcements in your matchmaking game. In Halo 5, in the beta at least, it seemed like they were going for more of a feel where they kind of piled on a couple more medals than your average Halo game, and the whole way in which like headshots popped whenever you got one. I can't help but feel like they're trying to go for an atmosphere where they're trying to make the player feel like a bit of a badass for doing what they do and for getting these high streaks and for being a good player in Halo. And you kind of need that in a game like Halo. You need the motivation and the incentive because it's a difficult game and you kind of have to get your ass whooped. So, you know, in COD they have like the kill streaks to keep you going, and just easier ways of getting kill streaks, to be honest. But it's kind of hollow and it's a little bit shallow. It feels a little bit false. Whereas in Halo 5, you know, they're going for this competitive arena multiplayer. I feel like it would be really cool if there was an announcer who just did kind of play-by-play in the background, where it was like, oh, and he's going for the double kill, the red team are about to get the triple kill with the sniper, and even going super overboard, and they won't do this in a million years, but in future Halo titles perhaps, have like a TV that almost comes up and shows like the highlights that a player has just managed to capitalize on. I've been speaking to Rapscallion about this, so I want to kind of give him a little bit of credit. Me and Rapscallion bounce back and forth ideas quite a lot, and he's got some really great ideas for Halo, so I advise you sub to him, link in the description. But they had a game by the name of Mario Strikers Charged, where at the end of each goal they'd show all the highlights from your match at the end, and they'd show the highlights after you actually got the specific goal in a cool or swag way. And it just really like bolstered your confidence, and I think it would kind of have that sports feel. I don't want them to go too over the top and just highlight anything like, oh, he just got a distraction. What a aid to the team. He's brilliant. Like, obviously I want it for like bigger stuff, like, you know, a triple kill and maybe he's about to get the overkill. And I think it would be really funny if someone was on the triple kill with a sniper and then they started announcing it, and then the guy might be more likely to choke. It's more pressure, it's more intense, and it's just more exciting, and it brings more flavor to each match, I feel like. I would obviously be vague because they wouldn't be able to reference the player specifically, but it's just a little idea I had. These were just 3 ideas I've been cooking up for Halo 5. Matchmaking, obviously, like I said, chances are none of these will get implemented, but, you know, it's fun to think about these sort of things. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.